And so if you want to relieve pressure there, you create additional alternative safe areas. And to some degree, you acknowledge you can make areas safer and keep more of a herd, Buffalo Valley, for example, by minimizing a hunting season.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you go to the next level and create some additional safe harbors in order to spread the larger herd so it doesn't all centralize, in these subdivisions?
I don't think you're going to see that though spread out and and dispersed along the landscape. I think that with the densities of predators that we have, we're seeing large groups of elk on native ranges. When we delay feeding and we get into the grow month, for example, we'll see 1,000 head of elk moving together. Buffalo Valley will see large groups of elk. I don't think you're going to see, if we completely quit hunting, for example, I think you'd still see large groups of elk staying together because of safety, and I think you'd see them in those subdivisions.
But wouldn't it be a worthy experiment? You've got the nuance of tuning seasons that take 3 years to determine, impact and so forth. Wouldn't it be a worthy experience to try to create something up north there? And again, you're not cutting down the number of licenses or anything. You may have to hunt 20 miles further away.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but I don't think we're going to move that direction. I think what we'll do is have opportunity for people to participate on public lands for hunting, and then we'll shorten those seasons so that when those animals get to a point where it's tougher for them to survive on an annual basis, so basically early winter, we'll be shutting down like we are right now, or maybe October 30th. I don't see us moving towards having a large safe zone for elk to be with on their own. I just know fishing agency.
Oh, but I guess, are you really cutting down? Can't you sell the same number of tags just outside of a particular area where you're trying to, generate some spread rather than do this highly nuanced approach that doesn't affect the southern part?
I guess what I'm getting to is I think you want to see a large area closed and then have those people dispersed. The few hunters that are in that area go somewhere else. Our agency does not support taking public lands and closing them unless the population clearly cannot sustain that level of opportunity for people to participate in hunt. And I know that may be unpalatable to some folks, but
it doesn't seem like anybody would lose, though.
No, nobody would lose, but about 15 outfitters up there, and you have to be looking at one of them right here and turn around.
So,
but you can't.
I mean, that has no relevance to what.
So for example, their authorization, and you can't just tell him, okay, you're going to go down here because there's already 5 guys that take out a certain number of set clients because of the way the thing has evolved over the years.
We've already taken a hit that is unbelievable. And hear this kind of comment.
Louise, what time is it?
Sorry to interrupt you, Jay, but I wasn't paying attention to the time, and Doug had to leave at 1 o'clock.
Can you take one last?
We can take one more.
I think the public pressure is building and building in the national media on the elk hunt in the national park and all that. How's that going to affect if the hunt's done with in the national park and maybe in the elk refuge? What are you guys going to do?
I think we'll end up having some hunting yet, and we'll do our best to articulate the need for hunting in southern Grand Teton. We bought off on the Area 79 reductions just because the populations are to the point where they can't. 79 may very well be closed in another 4 or 5 years, which would be, I think it's a 40 square mile area. No, that one's probably 60 square miles there. But I don't see us advocating, and you'll see a pretty good articulation from us on why we need to have that based on these radio collars.
Well, what's going to happen when you have 2 or 3 grizzly attacks? And I mean, it's a time bomb waiting to happen.
And I'll address the grizzly issue real quick. We have a lot of issues with grizzly bears and all over wherever grizzly bears are distributed.
Well, the river valley is what I was talking about. There's at least 8 or 9 grizzlies that are in that little mile line.
We have the same situation on some of those narrow passes that go to Cody, where animals come out and they're getting shot. There's gut piles. It's not new, and we acknowledge that bears are attracted to those sites. I think the biggest thing we've got going is that we need to make sure that the hunters are aware of a number of things they can be looking for when they're crawling around in the brush looking for an animal. And God forbid something negative like that happen, but
it's going to happen.
It can happen.
There's no doubt about it in my mind.
It could happen anywhere. you know, in 2000 when we were running these hunts up here, we had 2,000 elk hunters running around up there, and we're only down to 75 now. I'm surprised it hasn't happened up there. And again, we hope that something fatality doesn't occur. We're starting to talk to our hunters and saying, you know, there's like 6 different things you should be keenly aware of when you're out walking in the woods. You know, you should be looking at carnivore calls from ravens and magpies. If you start hearing that stuff, if you smell anything, you better start backing off and making all your senses available and alert. And it's a tough question, and if and when it does happen, it's going to be a bad day for us.
With that note,